Hello, my name's Barry Rawlins. Today we are down by a stream where we want to collect the suspended sediment that is being transported by the flowing stream, and we're putting in a device to do that. This is a suspended sediment sampler, and the idea is that over time, as water flows past the device, the water flows in at the front end here through a small inlet. The water flows into the chamber, which will be full of water inside the stream, and when this is attached at the back, the water will flow out of the rear end through a small outlet, and essentially what will happen is, as the water flows in at a fast rate, it'll enter a reservoir which is essentially largely motionless, and any material suspended in the water will drop out and be collected in this perspex device, and then the water will flow out of the end through the outlet. And when we come back in a few months' time, when the flow conditions have changed and this stream has risen and fallen, then we're hoping to collect an amount of sediment in the base of the sampler, and we'll take that sediment and analyse it for its composition, both looking at the mineralogical properties of the sediment and also at the organic fraction, and whether that contains any organic materials that might have been generated through both natural means within the peat, which is up in the upland blanket peat upstream, but also possibly through the activities of burning the peat, which generates organic components that we can also capture in the sediment, that we've also measured down in the reservoir in the sediments that collect there. So really what we're doing is looking at the pathway. We have the source up on the moorland, we have the pathway via the flowing stream, and we have a sink down in the reservoir about 400 metres downstream of this point. And we're trying to connect up the source, the pathway and the sink in one set of analyses. And this is part of a study undertaken by the Soils and Landscape team of the British Geological Survey. Now we're in another part of the stream where we've just put in a second suspended sediment sampler. Same principle applies as before. We have flowing water coming in at the front end through an inlet. It's about 4 millimetres diameter into a large chamber where the water rate or the flow of the water slows down, and then we've got a outlet at the back again where the water comes out, and in this chamber the intention is that we collect the sediment that's suspended in the flow. I don't know if you can see from there, but the colour of this water is such that we know that there's dissolved organic carbon in the water because we have a peatland upstream, and so we're seeing organic carbon leaching down in the stream water and flowing through the sampler. And you might just be able to tell this water isn't entirely clear. There's those humics that are giving it a tea-coloured look, so we know we've got organic carbon in the water itself. And now we're going to leave the sample in here for a few weeks and then come back in a few weeks' time and take the sample out, and hopefully we should have some sediment collected in the base of the sampler.